like I think there's so many people attached to online life that this has become real life for a lot of people, right? So we can't negate that. Like you were talking about validating people's experiences. There's a lot of people coming here and are seeing and listening to the stuff that people are saying and then validating that experience by going into the world and being like, yep, I see it here, I see it here, I see it here, right? It is happening for both men and women. This isn't a one-way street because if we're honest, if all men everywhere we're not competing with women, women would give up because there's nobody to engage in the competition, right? It's not a competition if there's not two participants. So at the end of the day, both genders are participating. Otherwise, how could this possibly keep going?
No, no. It actually you raise a good question, but it's still women competing. Let me tell you, men are I think it's a natural competition against men because women, for some reason, need to be validated by us by that competition. It is not natural for a man to compete with a woman, even his
Right.
own superior. Like
It's a
you don't,
turnoff.
and I think that aggravates women. The one thing I think women want men to contend with when men want women to protect and to help and to do, like we'll do all of that, and women are like, no, treat me like I'm a real contender. You're like, I can't do that. You're a woman, and it makes them upset.
Right, right. Oh my goodness.
So, okay, were you? I know, like you were kind of partially listening a little bit earlier in the conversation. Did you listen to the part where I said that like women's work in the home is being invalidated, and we're only looking at the work that they do outside of the home?
No, I
Did
didn't
you
hear
hear
that
that
part.
part? Okay. I think that's a big part of how this competition started, right?
Hmm.
I go to work and that's work. And the work that you do in the home had stopped being recognized as work. And
Yep.
so I think this is, to me, my personal opinion, this is what sparked feminism of like, okay, if you value work outside of the home and that's the only work that you value, then we're gonna do the work that's valued, right? I think the moment that we can actually start to take a look at the value of the work that women do inside of the home and genuinely appreciate it for real work, I think we'll start to see that shift. But the
So
thing
what
is,
does what? Okay, I'm sorry. What does the appreciation look like of that type of work? Not
acknowledgement,
even being facetious. So that's a
recognition,
serious question. Yeah.
recognition, and rewarding good behavior. Those are typically the three things that create that dynamic.
You
In
know what?
helping,
Yeah.
I would say in sometimes helping because especially
Oh,
if
you always want help. Here you go.
hold on, even I would say even if you're a at home wife, because even when you have, let's just say on average a 9 to 5, most
Right.
jobs you get the weekend off. So the part of the acknowledgement is also saying, I know how hard you've worked during the week with the kids, have a day off. And I don't think that that happens a lot of times. Like as a mom, you're on mom 24/7,
Uh-huh.
whereas it seems like if you're a man, that if you're hands on and you assist, you get rewarded for that. However, if your focus is your work, then you have an excuse not to be hands on at all. But it's still rewarded either way because your job is like, oh, he's working hard for his family. Whereas with a
Yeah.
woman, it for as with a woman, she's not valued in the same capacity, even though she is doing more of the work.
I will say I'm trying to, it's hard to look for this type of data because you have to get it from firsthand accounts, but I would like to know people to understand that men didn't help out in the home because they used to work outside of the home primarily for upwards of 16 hours a day, transportation included, to the job. So it wasn't necessarily that men even wouldn't even help out. And then now I realize that especially black men with getting the stamp that they were most involved fathers in America, it's because we get to be home to be that. So now we work at 8 hours and we get home after our commute. And I don't see most men being home and not helping. I don't know a man that doesn't help. And then literally anything you need, Like, this is something I had to tell my wife when she gets into her little complaints. Have I ever told you no? Then open your goddamn mouth and ask me a question. You see, can you bathe the kids? I got you. Send them up. Can you do? You see what I'm saying? Like, women don't understand that men didn't used to be home to help you with shit. They used to work in factories, you know, and all that type of stuff, and the commute was long and all of that. So I think more so now with the helping and stuff, I think because you work 8 hours, we have to be realistic. The fact that men help all the time. I think women love that. They love that struggle stamp. I just do everything for my kids. Ooh. So they're just throwing men under the bus, you know, most of the time. I think
it was a study, and again, it laid out kind of how much time. And again, like you said, I guess it would have to be self-reported, you know, but it was saying that on average, I think men on a weekly basis contributes like maybe 6 hours or something, it said, whereas women, it was about 12 and a half. So it's double that amount, and plus they work. You know what I'm saying? So
now this is the other part of that I wanted to talk about, because I have young children, as you know, young children, and I need women to understand this, especially women that don't have kids yet. You have to fully immerse yourself. Yo. Who is this echo? Hold on. Is it? You have to fully immerse yourself in the role of mom, because there's not a lot that your husband can do, your man can do, because a newborn baby, I can wake up in the middle of the night all I want and pick that baby up. The second that baby open his eyes and see it's me and not the person that smells like titty milk, I'm gonna have to go wake you up. Like, so I'm here to really set the record straight and be realistic about the dynamics between moms and dads. I could help you. I would help you rather, but I can't. This baby want the titty milk, or at least just want to smell it, right? So that is a huge contributing factor to kids laying up on their mom rather than their dad, wanting to go with mom over here rather than their dad. So it's really for moms to embrace that fully, that as much as a man would want to help you, the children want to be around you more in certain stages of their life. What do y'all think about that?
I think if she pump and there's breast milk in the refrigerator and you put it in the bottle warmer, that baby gonna drink that milk and cuddle up right there with you, or use similar.
Sure.
So
sometimes.
But I had a solution. I had a solution. All the high educated women, you know what I'm saying, find you a man that can afford a house in the hood. So you just work, you know, basically break your job down to part-time. And so basically I'm trying to like pull the women out of the workforce. So since it's less men, then you know what I'm saying, they will have to pay more for labor. You know what I'm saying? Like the wages back in World War II, before, you know, it actually got popping, the men was making eventually like more than what modern day salaries with man and woman together, you know, working together. So I mean that's the solution. You know, women downsize, you know, get yourself out the workforce. You know, you might have to live in the hood if you know what I'm saying.
But then what happens to the provision of safety?
What you mean safety? You mean
moving
you got Jesus,
me from, hold on, moving me from the suburbs, moving me from the suburbs because you have two incomes where it's a safer area, moving me to the hood so I don't have to work. It doesn't seem like a good exchange, is what I'm saying.
Actually, majority of people,
the hood is not. I used to live in a hood. The hood doesn't. I know Marcus may have a different experience, you know, but
let me support his point. I'm gonna support your point, David. What he was saying, I'm gonna remix it from you. Tell me if I'm wrong. What he was saying is, again, what we've said all this time, it's better to have two parents in the household. And if one can be primarily there, that's more beneficial than both parents going out and work and leaving those kids in daycare or by themselves. Was that what you were saying?
Absolutely.
But
you just have to downsize your lifestyle.
Wouldn't a better solution
just said downgrade the lifestyle?
Hold on. Right, no. But I was going to say,
that's absolutely what I'm saying.
A better solution to have both parents involved instead of moving into the hood is maybe change work schedules. So that way one parent may work nights So the other parent is home watching the kid, and then the shift exchange. So that way you can live in a safe area and the kid have the benefit of being with both parents.
That's
what's best for the
I
children.
think the
What's
hood
best for the children
separately.
is to have both parents in the house and the woman her submissive role. And you know what I'm saying?
He was just trying to say downgrade your lifestyle, so you're not.
That's it. You got to do that.
All. Move the idea of the hood.
You only 3 or 4 generations.
I'm not going back to the hood.
Black men on the panel. Black men on the panel. You realize you just hit the no-go zone, right?
I know. That's funny. That's funny. You're right.
This
You're
is a conversation no black woman wants to have.
Hey, how dare a black man touch that? How dare a black man touch that?